guys! So today I wanted to make a video about Inositol, and I wanted to make this video especially for women with PCOS because it's a supplement that can be really beneficial to a lot of women, but also to diet or you have some hormonal problem that, you know, isn't full blown out PCOS, then this could really be a supplement that benefits you, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. So I'm actually going to post in the description some of my key blood work that I got done and measured. So if you have a very similar level, then maybe, you know, the things that I'm going to talk about with Inositol would be better suited for you, but I am coming at this whole video from my own personal perspective without a health, medicine, or nutrition background. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more helpful to you once you look at my levels. Basically, I noticed that this summer a lot of my symptoms were flaring up for no reason, and looking back at it now, it may have been because I moved, or, you know, I was under maybe like a subconscious stress that I just didn't realize at the time. But I started doing more research and I just found that a lot of people were taking Inositol in the PCOS community. When I talk about Inositol, I'm referring to both Inositol and Inositol. I am not sponsored by this brand at all. These are just the ones that I decided to get off of Amazon, the JZ Naturals. I personally really recommend buying them separately, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Basically, our bodies naturally make Inositol and then convert it to Inositol in a 40:1 ratio. So that's why people say you should take both. You definitely don't have to. They both separately have different benefits and side effects. So if you're not already familiar with the forums, soulsister.com, that's where I found out about Inositol in the first place and decided to go through with it. And so my first week I was taking the recommended dosage. My body responds really quickly to supplements and basically anything I put in it. So I was feeling great. The first thing that I really noticed was really reduced cravings of carbs and sugar. Like, I really didn't crave them at all, which was insane because I felt like a normal person for once. I've always thought I was normal. I just thought, you know, sometimes I blamed myself thinking that I had a weak will, or, you know, I was too much of an emotional eater and I just couldn't get my eating under control. But upon taking this, I thought, oh my gosh, this is probably what normal people feel like. Like, you know, I don't have to have sweets right after I eat a savory meal, and when I'm stressed, you know, I could just not eat, or I could eat something healthy and I'll be okay. And this effect happens to most of the people that take it, and it kind of weans off, you know, once you upkeep the regular supplementation. The second thing I saw, which is amazing, was my skin. Notice I had like really stubborn, I want to zoom in on my face. Right now it's very clear, and I actually attribute it to the Inositol exclusively. I was just kind of getting these close comedones right along my cheeks, which, you know, just like tiny whiteheads that are really deep that never come out. So a sterilized needle, I would prick the pore and then I would push it out and my face would scar, and my skin was just so sensitive, and I kept thinking, you know, oh, it's my skincare, you know, there's a product that doesn't sit well with me, and I have like this Korean skincare. I just thought, oh my god, how am I gonna know what product is causing this? And when I looked up face mapping, you know, they kept referring to this area as either, you know, being a liver problem or a stomach problem. That's how I came to find out that my acne was actually just hormonal acne. It was literally just my hormones. So the thing that caused this was the Inositol. And the way I could tell was because about 4 days into my first week, I started getting really anxious. I was just sitting in a cafe with my friend, and I remember she was talking to me, and I just got this like sensation that something was wrong. Something wrong was gonna happen. Like, I was about to have a panic attack for no reason. And I, you know, did some research and I found that the Inositol can have that effect on some people. So I stopped taking it, and I upped my dosage from 50 milligrams to 150 to 200 of these. And that's how I found out that the Dicaro is the one that's responsible for the metabolism. And my doctor actually puts this Dicaro in her weight loss package because it really does help with your cravings. So what I do now is basically I just take one of these, which is 500 milligrams of Inositol, anytime that I feel that I have a breakout. The next day I'll wake up and it's gone. So I just had like one right here the other day because I got my period, and I took a Mayo during the morning. The next day I woke up and it was almost gone, and then I took it at night, one more the next day, and it was completely gone. So I really do recommend taking it at night if it helps your skin, because you know it's kind of like the time that your body repairs itself, and you know if you haven't eaten, your body's just gonna absorb it a little bit better. As you can hear, I have a lot more of this because I only take it to control my hormonal acne, and the D-inositol is great for the metabolism, but I don't actually find that it's a sustainable supplement because it's really expensive. For you to really see the benefit of the D-chiro in itself, you need, some people take 600 milligrams as a standard dose, which would just be like a powder that you buy, but if you're looking to do that, that's upwards of $40 or more a month, which I just find to be too much. I kind of just took it for a bit while I was transitioning into more of a low-carb, insulin-resistant diet, and I found that it really helped my cravings until I developed the habit to kind of, you know, kick the sugar and the carbs out for the most part, easing off into that process of adjusting to that lifestyle. So that's what I really recommend. I have read that for a lot of women it's great for if you're trying to conceive, or your cycles are off, or you know you haven't ovulated in a while. These supplements really help, and what's wonderful about inositol is that it's a vitamin. It's literally just vitamin B6, and with all the B vitamins your body just expels whatever it doesn't need. If you have a B complex vitamin, you may notice that it actually has inositol in a very small quantity, maybe like 100 milligrams or so. And it's most likely Inositol, but 100 milligrams really isn't a lot. Those are basically my experiences. I definitely recommend them. I think that it's good for you to try both, unless you want to go ahead and try the 40-to-1 ratio. The reason that I recommend buying both separately, besides being able to see, you know, which inositol has an exact effect on your body, is because unless you do really extensive tests, you'll never really know how your body converts the inositol to D-inositol. Some women with PCOS, and if you can be a guide to it, just have like an imbalance or a receptor issue, but basically some of us, you know, the process of conversion isn't quite right. So I actually think that that's kind of what's going on in my body, where maybe I am able to make enough inositol, but not enough D-chiro. So that's why my whole life I've basically just craved sweets and sugar, and you know, I've had a pretty healthy lifestyle for a while, but I just really find that to be like my one thing that I just cannot really control. And we really have to learn to be, you know, really conscious of our bodies and not blame ourselves, you know, try to work with our bodies. So yeah, it's literally just my hormones, I feel, and I think that this is a useful supplement to keep on hand, even if you don't need it after a while, if you're using it for, you know, eating and dieting reasons. Because let's say you have a mess up, like I know that when I have my final exams, I'm probably going to be really stressed, and I might do some stress eating. So after that, you know, I could really use this to ease back into my usual healthy lifestyle. I would really, really recommend you guys to go to, you know, Facebook groups and Soul Sisters and even the PCOS subreddit to read other girls' experiences taking inositol. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. And, you know, I can tell you more about where my body is in terms of like my testosterone, DHEAS, my insulin, so you can see if, you know, perhaps you're going to respond similarly to how I did on these supplements. Also, if you do start supplementation, I think it would be really useful for you to, you know, get routine blood work done if that is something that you can do, because if you make a change, you know, you should wait about 3 months after supplementing to really see how a supplement works for you. Have your blood measured, have your levels measured, and then you can see, oh, this is really great, or maybe this really increased my levels too much. Not with inositol because it's a B vitamin, but with a lot of other vitamins like iron, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin A. If you have too much or too little, you're gonna experience some problems most likely. So that's all I have to say. If you liked my video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I am gonna be making more videos about PCOS specifically and certain supplements. There are about 10 supplements that I'm currently taking, and I want to do more videos about how they've affected me, but you know, I want to wait an appropriate time. I didn't want to take this for 2 weeks and then be like, hey, this is, you know, this is like a miracle supplement or whatnot. And thank you guys so much. I really wish you the best, especially if you do have PCOS. I could honestly go on this rant about the lack of attention to PCOS in research, in terms of medication. Like, when I first got diagnosed, my doctor just put me on, my OBGYN put me on a birth control and was like, alright, you're out the door. And birth control can have a really negative long-term effect on your body. A lot of women, you know, once they do go off the birth control, all of their symptoms come back with like vengeance and power, and you know, you're just kind of putting a band-aid on something instead of getting to the root cause. So if you are watching this and you have PCOS and you haven't been to the doctor in a while, if you're kind of worried, I would definitely recommend, if you have the funds, or I don't know if insurance covers this, going to a naturopath or a hormone specific doctor or a PCOS specialist, because when you get your blood levels measured, which is something that I'm experimenting with right now that I'll talk about in a different video, as long as your levels are within a normal range for your age and your gender, a lot of doctors will just say, alright, you know, like, you're fine. Even if you walk in with symptoms like hair loss, which is actually something I'm experiencing right now and I've experienced in the past, and I'm taking some things right now to help with it, and we'll see if they work. But basically, if you have doubts, you know, every level of whatever it is you're testing in your blood has a normal and an optimal level. For a lot of women with PCOS, since our bodies are so damn sensitive, if your level is like not optimal, you can have a full blown out side effect, and your doctor may never really know unless they're a specialist, or you may even have to go to I forgot the name, but the people who, the hemo something, who specialize in like blood and what that, you know, your levels in your body. So if you know, never stop doing research, never stop, you know, it's not all in your head, I promise. Like, that's what I've thought for so many years, and I've blamed myself so much for things that were going on in my body that honestly I couldn't control. And had my doctor or OBGYN been more educated on the subject, or just educated me more on it, I probably would have, like, you know, had a much easier time in college. A lot of women, when they get PCOS, it's, you know, during puberty or right after. So it's like a really tough time, and it can make or break a lot of women's lives. So I'm just really angry that there's not more research being funded in it, because a lot of the medicine that we get prescribed, not just birth control, is actually wasn't designed for PCOS. It was just found that, you know, a side effect could help someone in PCOS, or who has PCOS or something like that, and that just kind of baffles my mind, because we basically have to be our own doctors sometimes, and you know, really have to pressure our doctors. So anyways, end of rant. I love you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.